when dawn needs no name. Hello, you who are quietly gliding into the quiet sky of the late night. Today, I will not tell a story with loud shouts, nor emphasize it with fiery battles. I only invite you, in this moment, to relax your shoulders, let out a sigh, and quietly accompany a day of a person who could never be called herself a concubine in the ancient Japanese imperial court. There was no rooster crowing to signal, no alarm bell ringing. Dawn here did not come like a sudden shower, but quietly like a soft breath through a thin rice-papered door. The dim light crept in, not waking up, but gently reminding, it's time to play the leading role of my life. You wake up, or rather, open your eyes, on a thick, uncomfortable futon. Your body aches. One side of your hair is flattened from the tilt of your head, and in your mind, the lingering scent of the eel dream lingers like the lingering scent of incense. But you don't move, not because you're well rested, but because grace vagueness is your first prop in the long drama called a day in the harem. The soft sound of wooden slippers sounded outside the door, then the door slid open. The maids entered, heads bowed, voices like a gentle breeze. A warm ceramic basin was placed next to the bed as if to whisper, "This is your dignity. Please wipe the back of your neck clean." And so the performance began, without a stage, without an audience, but with more stringent requirements than a kabuki audition. They comb your hair as if it were an idol. They wash it with reverence, not because they love you, but because they know a curl is a ticket to humiliation for both of you. You, meanwhile, maintain an expression that is both impassive and noble, the expression of a woman who has many thoughts but is not allowed to say them. Then a faint laugh rang out from the hallway where the Daimyo, the powerful lord, was having morning tea with someone, probably the most favored concubine of the week. You couldn't turn around, couldn't ask, could only remember one thing: avoid her eyes, at least until after tea time. You rise from bed like a swan gliding over a lake, except this one's legs are numb from the belt that'll be tightening around your waist all day. Everything is ready. The scent of plum blossom incense wafts in the air. The sleeves of your kimono spread out like butterfly wings. You stretch, not to relax, but to whisper to yourself, "Here we go again." This is you, nameless, role-less, known only as she, a beauty shaped by tradition, a figure trained to serve the gaze, a silent existence revolving around a center of power, one you yourself never reach. And so the story begins, not with blood, not with swords, but with white chalk redrawn eyebrows, and lips painted with a small red dot like the ink left on calligraphy. For you, the listener, let time slow down. No need to try to sleep, no need to rush to wake up. Come with me into a world where every breath, every bow of the head, carries with it a vital meaning. Because, in that harem, silence is the loudest sound. Here is part 2, waking up and getting ready. When the morning light is still shyly hidden behind the thin paper door, you're not exactly awake, but just open your eyes in a position still immersed in dreams. The lingering echoes of the dream about the writhing eel still linger on your skin, like an invisible reminder that you have not really left the virtual world. However, silence is surrounding you. You do not move, do not speak, because every small gesture has been trained to serve a never-ending play. The posture of lying on the futon seems light, but half of your body is sore. Your neck is slightly numb from sleeping on your side, and your head still smells of old incense. You do not move, not only because of ritual, but because of anxiety. You are the main character of tomorrow, and you must take shape right from this moment. In a state of half-awake, there is a very slight noise in the hallway, the footsteps of a maid, the soft sound of a sliding door. A question suddenly arises in your mind. What will happen to your fate today? But you do not answer, because the answer always lies in patience. You can only take a deep breath, keeping your face calm, the beauty of someone who does not let herself show weakness. Thus, even though your heart is in turmoil at this moment, you still express it with the utmost calmness. The door slowly opened, and the maids appeared. They bowed low, each step as light as air. One had to be careful. In that moment of meeting, their eyes were silent. No criticism, no praise, just information. Today her hair is flat on the left side. Her skin has a trace of sweat drying on her neck. Every detail was remembered, because even a small flaw could make the next person score more points than you. You breathed softly, imagining in your mind the rhythm of the play. The preparation was about to begin, and you had to become the symbol of vagueness, blending in with the dawn light playing through the wall. The basin of warm water is offered without a word. You sit up slowly, your shoulders still straight, your back not hunched. The silk cloth is lifted to wash the back of your neck, a seemingly simple action but carrying the meaning of erasing the traces of that dream, completely immersing yourself in today's role. The water smells of camellia, the warmth seeping through your skin. You close your eyes for a moment, imagining yourself as the messenger of invisible beauty, the messenger of silent power. Your face is still not covered with makeup, but your heart has begun to take shape in a calm and sharp manner. Next comes the hair. The comber's hand moves through each strand as if painting a wordless picture. Each movement echoes a beat. You must look like a porcelain statue. No tangles can sneak in. You hear the brush moving through each strand, imagining yourself in the bronze mirror, a face about to put on a perfect mask. You say nothing, because words are just a burden at this point. Silence is the core language, carrying the message I am here, but I cannot show it all. Then comes the white powder, the armor of the concubines. Rice powder is spread evenly over the face, neck, and chest. You feel each light powder fall, like snow gradually covering fingerprints, gradually erasing the signs of who you are. Each time the powder touches your skin, you feel like you are being drawn into a distant dream. Yourself and not yourself, surviving in the cycle of stereotypes. The coldness of the powder on your skin makes you shiver slightly, but that is a sign that you are getting closer to the charming, desireless image that the court expects, a beauty that does not belong to ordinary people. The eyebrows are removed, redrawn higher, more curved, as if to represent eternal surprise and a detachment from all ordinary emotions. You look into the dim space, imagining your portrait looking both proud and strange, like a relief with a hidden soul. Your lips are just a small dot of red lipstick in the middle of an empty garden. Modest, but enough to make your gaze stop. You smile to yourself. If it feels strange, believe it is traditional. If it feels stuffy, it is a sign that you are on the right path. This inner irony is only heard by you. No one else knows. Finally, black teeth, the symbol of no natural smile. You close your lips, feeling the heavy black resin on your jaw. Every time you open your lips, your breath smells of iron and enamel. Smiling is now taboo. Is it a weapon or a trap? You are not sure, but you accept it because you are turning into a silent image, a dot among the countless other breaths in the palace. The price of this beauty is silence in every breath, absolute control of every smallest facial muscle. Throughout the process, your mind is filled with thoughts. The charm lies in keeping yourself in a series of rituals, not letting your soul be revealed. But each ritual is also an invisible chain. Should I accept this chain or find a way to hide it inside my own train of thought? However, you do not reveal it. You just stay silent, allowing yourself to enjoy the loneliness of the makeup, letting the coldness on the outside hide the sea of emotions that are surging. And when you finish that makeup act, you tell yourself, this is only the beginning. Everything is ready to move on to the next part. Putting on your costume, the next dress, and a powerful play. But before that, you stand still for a moment, looking at your image in the bronze mirror. A concubine who is both real and imaginary, both present and absent. It is a moment of transition, from the status of an ordinary human being to the symbol of the forbidden palace, where every breath is a whisper of power. Here is part 3. Costumes. The art of bondage. As the white powder dries gently on your skin, you enter the next stage of the ritual. The donning of clothing, not just the covering, but the art of binding. Before you are countless layers of silk, satin, sheer fabric, and heavy fabric, each layer carrying a meaning, a hidden message. You take a breath, preparing yourself for a never-ending drama where clothing not only adorns but also suffocates your every breath. First comes the thin cotton undergarment. It seems breathable, but it's actually invisible armor. It feels both soft and constricting against your skin, a reminder that, no matter how dreamy, power must always be built on strict discipline. You slip on the undergarment, feeling the fabric against your skin cool at first, then clinging as your body heat spreads. The contrast is like the life of a concubine. Next comes the kimono, lining the delicate, patterned pieces of fabric that represent the season, the status, the mood of the day. Each piece is arranged in a strict order. No wrong color, no wrong order. You tell yourself, each layer has a story, but that story is not yours. It is the language of power, of ritual, of you as a concubine. You put your hands on your shoulders, feeling the fabric tightly, like invisible chains binding you to a form you cannot escape. Once the undershirt and kimono are complete, the middle layer, thicker and more elaborate, is ready. The colors are coordinated according to convention, dark light, contrasting, harmonious. Each combination implicitly expressing status and state of mind. For example, deep red covered with light blue symbolizes mystery but is still noble. Or pure white covered with gold is elegant but distant. You imagine the message that others will read from that color and then mumble to yourself, what will this color say about me today? Will it make me stand out, or will it make me fade away among the other concubines? But you cannot choose your true color. You can only wear the color that is predetermined according to the status of the person being summoned. The outer layer, heavy, shiny silk kimono, intricately embroidered. When you put it on, you feel the weight on your shoulders, pressing down on your chest, making every breath measured. Too light and you lose your elegant image. Too strong and you show signs of hardship. You are calm, keeping your posture straight even when every step suggests restraint. The sleeves hang down. The skirt spreads like a butterfly still in the mist. In your mind, you imagine yourself as a living painting sketched by invisible needles and threads. No matter how beautiful, the price of that beauty is each breath of imprisonment. Finally, the obi, the legendary belt, the ritual of tightening each layer of fabric into a perfect whole. As the assistant tightens the obi around your waist, it feels like living in an invisible wooden frame. Every second, you are conscious of every thread squeezing your ribs. Every breath you have to adjust to not show discomfort. You do not groan, do not move. Just keep your face like a porcelain statue, silently counting each beat in your heart. 1, 2, 3. With each tightening, you feel like you are being forced deeper into the role, to the point where it is difficult for anyone to distinguish the boundary between you and the palace concubine character. All the while, your mind is still spinning. Though shackled, I am still inside. This bondage is not a total confinement. It also creates a powerful form of cold, distant, yet alluring beauty. If used wisely, the chains become a tool. Who dares to touch me? Who wants to break this silk? You swallow the aching feeling, turning it into silent strength. Every small movement stretching your shoulders, stretching your neck becomes a message. I endure. I am steadfast. I am remarkable. You look into a small mirror or a polished brass mirror. The reflection is a concubine, both proud and lonely. In that moment, you recall your daydream, the writhing eel, an echo of the unerased instinct. But now you have put on a complete costume. The exterior speaks of dignity, concealing all inner turmoil. You smile to yourself. This shell is a test, but also a way for me to exist and act. Even in chains, you have a hidden voice, through your eyes, through the way you stand, through each practiced gesture. When the ritual of dressing is over, you feel the change, not just your physical appearance, but the way the world sees you. You are no longer the ordinary person waking up on the futon. You are a silent symbol, a delicately crafted image, waiting for the next act. From the first layer of fabric to the last obi, you have crossed the line between human and symbolic, between freedom and bondage, and you accept that bondage, to stay within its limits, creating a soft but steadfast power. Here is part 4. Breakfast. The dance of restraint. The dawn has gradually crept through the paper wall, but it is not bustling but still shy, as if reserved for the next ritual. You have put on an elaborate kimono, the obi tightens your waist, and now each strand of fabric follows the curves of your body, guiding each step. When you reach the dining room, the space is as quiet as a small stage, where every gesture will be a test of restraint and grace. You enter, as gentle as falling petals, but each step has been practiced hundreds of times. The wooden heels gently touch the floor. The sound is loud enough to remind all eyes to turn to you, but not so violent that it disturbs the quiet space. Each step carries the message. I am present, but I do not express my desires. That is the silent power that the outfit brings. Each layer of fabric constrains but also guides the standard gait, like a choreographed dance whose sophisticated melody only the connoisseurs can fully appreciate. You sit on a low cushion, your legs crossed in a formal manner, your hands placed deftly on your thighs, your back straight but not stiff. Slight movements to avoid showing off your physiological fatigue, but soft enough to show your charm. In front of you is a breakfast tray. A small bowl of pure white rice, a piece of grilled fish with a slightly burnt outer layer, a few slices of refreshing pickles, and a bowl of clear miso soup. All the ingredients are simple, implying just enough to nourish the body, not revealing the deliciousness. The reward for bright eyes is not to eat your fill, but to maintain a fragile, slender figure like a poetic image. You pick up chopsticks, but they are not simply for picking up food. They are instruments in a play. You have to control your hands skillfully, so as not to loosen the kimono, not to splash the soup, not to reveal the greedy eyes. Each time you bring the chopsticks to your lips, you bend your neck slightly, your eyes look down at the bowl, your lips move slightly but make no sound. The scene is a quiet music where the slightest noise can destroy perfection. You chew slowly, the rice feels crumbly in your mouth, the fish smells faintly of smoke, but your mind is used to turning the taste into a distant feeling. I eat, but I do not show that I like it. It is a dance of restraint, swallowing without letting the taste show on your face. All around, the maids silently observe, wordless, but with each glance they record the way you pick up rice, pick up fish, bite your lips, place your chopsticks. Every little gesture will be discussed later. She tilts her head a lot when picking up fish, or puts down her chopsticks slowly enough to avoid making a sound. You know this, so you are even quieter, as if trying to turn every action into a symphony of calmness. You feel the weight of your kimono as you sit. The obi pulls your back straight, your shoulders not drooping. If you try to chew loudly, you might make the fabric on your chest tremble slightly, a sign of your true emotions. So you chew softly, the sound almost echoing only in your inner world. Occasionally you glance at the pickles, the salty sour taste, a reminder that even the smallest things can awaken the senses. But you don't let your lips curl. Instead, you regulate your breathing, keeping your face still, like an unchangeable lacquer painting. This restraint is not so much oppression as skill. knowing how to suppress emotions to heighten their mysterious value. Like an ancient vase that is delicately decorated but doesn't reveal what's inside, breakfast is quick but not easy. You have to feed yourself, keep fit, and at the same time show your Every time you put down your bowl, you bow your head slightly, not daring to look around for long, just enough to show respect to the food and the waiter. You don't ask for more. If you ask, "Can I have more?" your inquiring eyes will reveal your gluttony, causing others to secretly laugh at you. So you keep quiet. The bowl and chopsticks are taken away when you're almost done with your small portion. The remaining rice powder on your lips is licked cleanly, but in a way that doesn't reveal any enjoyment. Tilt your head slightly, lick lightly, then stop as soon as the delicious feeling rises. When the meal is over, you fold your arms over your chest, bow slightly, and retreat like a dancer after closing a play. Your steps are light, but each toe is taut and silent. The observing eye will remember the moment you left. You know every detail. The soft rustle of fabric, the soft sound of wooden heels on the floor, the steady rhythm of your own breathing. All of it blends into a symphony of restraint, making you appear to others as a living statue. Perfect but cold. In the quiet moments after the meal, your mind will again start to think. Power lies in the fact that I can eat, but not let others know how delicious I'm eating. I can sacrifice my feelings, but maintain influence without revealing my ambition. That is the profound implication. Breakfast is not only to nourish the body but also a spiritual exercise in silent power. When facing the Daimyo or the officials, the image of the concubine who ate today will have the breath of self-control not easily shaken by ordinary desires. Here's part 5: Waiting. The art of patience. As the midday sun spreads dimly through the paper wall, you still sit in the room, overlooking the garden where the bonsai and the koi pond flow peacefully, but seem to be waiting for you to wake up. The elaborate outfit from the morning is still wrapped tightly around your body. The obi tightens gently but enough to remind you that each breath must be regular. Each breath must be kept within the limits of the palace mold. The heavy feeling from the silk is still imprinted, as a reminder that you carry with you the image that has been crafted, a living statue waiting for a new scene. You sit upright in the middle of a slightly dark room, where the light filtering through the curtains creates a pale yellow streak on the tatami floor. Your hands rest lightly on your thighs, palms facing down, fingers relaxed but not slack. Every small gesture expresses stillness. You feel your body still a little sore from the obi that tightens your waist, but you don't let the outside world reveal it. In the silence, your soul whirls in thought. Waiting is an invisible cloth woven around your heart, both tearing and honing your enjoyment. You don't move, don't say anything, but inside, every feeling of anticipation, excitement, disappointment, and hope is surging. In the quiet moments you find ways to nurture your inner strength. Watch the leaves gently swaying on the porch. Listen to the wind playing through the branches. Imagine yourself as a bonsai tree, roots firmly in the ground, leaves though fragile still persistently welcoming the wind. That image becomes a metaphor. Even though waiting can make you feel down, you choose to be steadfast, to maintain a leisurely expression, to send an invisible signal. I am okay. I am strong enough to wait. The tight clothes now act like a frame to keep you steady, even though your heart sometimes wants to tremble inside. You take out a small roll of paper and a brush. Poetry is your silent friend. With the soft sound of the paper turning, you quickly write down a few lines of poetry with a melancholy nuance about falling apricot blossoms, about the silent flow of time, about late longing. The words of the poem can hide a smile, but let the inner self reach out. Each word written is a way for you to keep yourself from collapsing in the face of waiting. The rhyme is quiet but resilient, reminding you that waiting is a challenge, but also an opportunity to refine yourself. You do not publish the poem, just hide it in your sleeve, so that whenever you feel weak, you can flip it over and read it silently, finding new patience. If there is a sound in the room, it may be the gentle plucking of a shamisen as your maid gently tries it. The melody is not too cheerful, but rather low-pitched, like a song for waiting, just enough to ease tension, but not too rhythmic to reveal excitement. When your fingers touch the strings, you feel the echoes echoing in your heart, as if reminding you that silence is also rhythm, and you choose to weave your own rhythm, steady but not rigid, flexible but still disciplined. The sound passes and then fades away, and no one but you hears the hidden emotional strings behind each note. Around, there may be other concubines waiting. Sometimes in your line of sight you see their silhouettes behind the curtains, also sitting still, also keeping their posture, also seeming to hide their mood behind their gorgeous costumes. Each glance meets, and then quick, like the hidden arrows stabbing into the other person's pride. She seems calm, but is she really calm? This is not friendship, but a competition of silence and time usage. You and they sit together counting the minutes, but each person uses those minutes to show that he or she is strong enough, calm enough to wait without wavering. Quietly, sometimes a slight nod or a slight bow in the middle of the room suggests, I am also waiting, but not tired. That is the strategy. Whoever appears to be in a hurry Whoever shows a little agitation will be remembered and gradually fade away. While you wait, questions still creep into your mind. Will the Daimyo think of you today? Will there be a summons? But you don't let those questions make you tremble in front of the attendant or other concubines. You only answer in your heart. Waiting is an invisible pilgrimage, where you learn to control yourself. Learn to rely on the silence to nurture hope. Every time you look up at the koi pond outside, you imagine yourself as a fish. Even though you are immersed in calm water, you still have to swim against the flow of time, keeping your body flexible but not losing direction. In the midst of the immense waiting, you choose to nourish your inner strength with slow breathing. Inhale and exhale, noticing every vibration of your chest under your kimono. You realize that sometimes waiting is not a passive state, but an internal action. You are observing, analyzing, weaving invisible relationships through every small gesture with the people around you. Your eyes glance when you see the maid bringing tea. You bow slightly, receive the steaming cup of tea, then sip slowly, letting the aroma of the tea melt in your mouth as if reminding you to be patient a little longer. Tea is not to warm your stomach, but to keep the warmth of perseverance and to help your mind not be shaken by fading rosebuds or sudden rumors. As the hours pass, you remain still. Sometimes a messenger walks down the hall, and you imagine in your mind, if I was summoned, how would my steps be? But you don't let that imagination lead to a change in your gaze or posture. You just glance briefly, then return to an upright posture, as if to signal, I am ready, but not eager. Everything becomes an underground soundtrack. The sound of the wind, the occasional splash of water in the koi pond, the sound of insects in the garden, all blend with the dull thumping of your heart, creating a rhythm of waiting. And then, in a sudden moment, you know that waiting is not just an intermediate stage, but an art. The art of patience, the art of hiding your inner self, the art of using silence to convey a message. You take the last deep breath of this waiting period, smiling to yourself. Whatever the outcome, you've grown more mature with each moment of silence. The elaborate costume has done its job. It keeps you in a symbolic state. But inside you have found a soft and steadfast strength. Under the pale afternoon sunlight filtering through the paper curtains, Part 6 begins. Afternoon silent competition, where the fruit of the art of patience transforms into a calculating secret communication. You still wear the gorgeous kimono and Obi steadfastly keeps his figure. But now, the space is not just a waiting place, but a stage for silent intellectual battles between the concubines. You enter the common room where the ladies gather, not to chat openly but to participate in a silent drama. Each step is as light as before, but now each rhythm is accompanied by a keen eye. Who stands where near the window? How the light plays on their faces, and what strange details and messages the silks they wear convey. You think, are they trying to be friendly or distant? How long do their eyes linger on me? And then, which direction do they move? Every gesture is recorded in your mind like pieces in an invisible chess game. The lesson of waiting has taught you patience. Now, the lesson of communication teaches you to observe. When another concubine walks by, her hand brushes the hem of your kimono, her face smiling enough to say hello, but her eyes dim for a moment, a small sign of appreciation. You respond with a slight nod, keeping your posture straight, your eyes glancing back and remaining silent. I acknowledge you, but I'm in no hurry to show my emotions. Your smile is not so bright as to not show your joy, but not so indifferent as to arouse suspicion. It's a delicate balance, sending the signal, I respect you, while maintaining the image that you are not easily swayed. In a corner, the sound of pen on paper softly resounds as another concubine tries to write a short poem about gently falling. Listening softly, you glance over. The poem is a secret boast of talent, but also a hidden arrow to reduce the value of the opponent. Falling chrysanthemums are fragile fate. Will today's style last? You smile to yourself. Poetry is a soft weapon. It can soothe the listener's ears, but can also set traps through each word. You recall the verses you wrote while waiting, keeping them secret so that when needed, you can unleash a song that is both gentle and sharp. Next, afternoon tea is served, steaming cups of tea with a faint herbal scent. When the maid brings the tea, you receive the cup with a slightly trembling hand, a sign that can be revealed if not careful. But you try to keep still so the aroma of the tea, not the desired feeling, seduces the mind. You take a small sip, the warmth seeping down your throat, but your face remains calm. When people around you see you calmly enjoying your tea, they may think you are self-controlled enough, not swept away by the pressure of dominance or disadvantage this morning. The aroma of the tea becomes an invisible shield, hiding your emotions, helping you endure in the eyes of the person opposite. Your eyes move slowly from face to face. Some are more elaborately made up than yesterday. Some are more simple, creating an impression of calmness to show that they are not busy playing power. You do not judge too quickly. Instead, you think about what signals their makeup and clothing choices send. When the pattern of their shirt is slightly lighter, it may be a subtle, I don't need to stand out message. But if they still stand out, it is a way to maintain the initiative. You smile inwardly. In this silent war, The message through form is more important than words. When a concubine approaches you and asks you about something innocuous, maybe complimenting the bonsai pot in the hallway or asking about the poem from the day before, you respond with a brief, polite thank you. I heard. The tone is respectful but not overly familiar. The other person nods, but you read in their eyes that they acknowledge you know the information. But you don't know if you're genuinely interested or just trying to keep your distance. That ambiguity is the goal, to make your opponent unsure of your true feelings, and thus less able to predict your next move. You keep quiet more than you speak. When there is a small murmur about whether the daimyo might summon soon or later, you just smile slightly, neither confirming nor denying. Your lack of personal information makes you a secretive warrior. Others may try to decipher your facial expressions and gestures, but it is difficult to tell whether you are hopeful or disappointed. Strength lies in your inner control, not allowing anyone to exploit your weaknesses. The afternoon is also a time to challenge your body. When moving up and down the room, you keep your posture at every step, avoiding letting the kimono catch on the clothes of the person next to you, but also not being too careful that they think you are afraid. You walk slowly but steadily, as if inspired by the image of a crane in a watercolor painting. Graceful but not fragile. That step shows that you are both respectful of others and proactive. You are ready to face challenges without being cowardly. If there is a moment when the peaceful atmosphere suddenly resounds with a sweet compliment, your sitting posture is so exquisite today. You just bow your head slightly, thanking with eyes that do not refuse but also do not show excessive pleasure. That is the balance. Accept the compliment to show politeness, but maintain seriousness so as not to reveal pride. The compliment can be implicitly sarcastic, implying, "Are you bored when you have to play this role?" You respond with a calm attitude, making the speaker unsure whether you are upset or not. From there, they do not dare to easily add more sharp points. In the moment of a single sound, the chirping of a bird in the garden or the rustling of a leaf, you close your eyes for a second and take a deep breath. This is your spiritual refuge. You find peace before entering the whirlwind of words and looks. Grief or jealousy are no longer the dominant factors, but you turn them into motivation. I will use composure to lead, not to be lost in the crowd. You know that, in the silent competition, the one who remains calm and steadfast will have the advantage when the results are revealed. The afternoon gradually fades, the sunlight fades, and you retreat to your own corner, gathering information from each meeting, each glance. You remember who is close to whom, who just received compliments from the daimyo the day before, who shows signs of stress when hearing rumors. Those pieces will form a complete picture of the underground power in the harem, and you, with patience and subtlety, will know when to shine or retreat, to keep the network of relationships tight and secret. You return to your room and walk down the quiet hallway. Each step is light, as if you want to hold your breath, but inside you there is a ripple. Will there be a soft call today? Even though you know it won't show, you still notice every little movement in the space. The sound of the wind rustling the curtains, the sound of water dripping from the kettle. It could be a sign of preparation for an important bath, a ritual that not only cleanses the body but also refines the spirit. The bathroom appears, steam hovering, the scent of yuzu and incense lingering in the air. You and your maid enter, where a few ceramic pots and kettles are ready. As you remove your outer garments, you feel each layer of kimono being removed, as if gradually untying your chains, but at the same time revealing your loneliness. Your naked body becomes vulnerable in the fragile light. You do not say a word, only letting the maid assist you. Each cotton bra, each layer of decorative silk is carefully removed, as if removing a mask. In the silence, you listen to the sound of falling fabric, as if each sound is a reminder of the play you are performing, but also the moment closest to yourself after many layers of symbolism. Once you are naked under the rising steam, you step into the hot water. The water embraces your body, as if embracing your wavering soul, both gentle and urging you to face your vulnerable side. The bubbles of water swirl around your skin, the faint scent of yuzu evoking a feeling of rebirth, but also reminding you not to forget your mission. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the heat dispel the fatigue from the long afternoon, but at the same time highlighting every skin cell. Every trace of the shackles of your clothes this morning is still lightly imprinted on your ribs and waist. You breathe slowly, thinking of the image of a poet reciting poetry by the stream. But your breath is not only poetic, but also the warmth of vigilance. Your body is bare, but your soul is not exposed. The maid gently helps you wash. Her hands are wrapped in soft, warm, wet towels, gently massaging each area of skin. They work in silence, like bees working in a hive. Each movement has a hidden meaning. You feel the light touch on your skin, but do not let your body or mind reveal your emotions. Do not appear overly comfortable, nor reveal your anxiety. Each brush stroke reminds you that, even in the most intimate moments, you are still a royal concubine, a symbol of proud and mysterious beauty. All the cleanliness is not only to prepare the body, but also to hide the fear of being called into the room when you are not mentally ready. Once the body is clean, it has time for skincare. A light layer of powder or a thin layer of powder is reapplied, like resetting a mask. You listen to the powder spread on your skin, feel the thin white layer gradually cover the moisture. Next comes the perfume. The scent of yuzu, the scent of plum blossom, incense, or a little diluted sandalwood. You close your eyes as the maids rub your shoulders, neck, and nape, where the skin is thin and easily transmits the warmth from their hands. The fragrance spreads, evoking the moment of wanting to hide, wanting to reveal charm. You say to yourself, this scent is not only to attract the daimyo's gaze, but also a medicine to help me feel confident in the upcoming frame. Then the hair is arranged. Although it has been embellished in the morning, it now needs to show just enough freshness. A comb is run through the hair, adding a small flower or a simple hairpin, suggesting a quiet but not stiff look. You look in the small mirror, the image of a concubine washing herself. While recreating the beauty of a porcelain statue in the mist, you smile to yourself. Although you may not be summoned, this ritual is still a way for you to maintain soft power, to maintain the mindset of always ready but not eager to show it. As you finish, you think about the evening that may come. Will the daimyo choose you? But you are calm. Whatever the outcome, today's rigorous bathing has sharpened you. You learn to face the waiting itself, not always being cold, but when not cold, still maintaining dignity and dignity. Though the body is washed, the soul still has a silent armor, discipline, steadfastness, and grace. Finally, when the bathing ritual is over, you put on a lighter kimono, a backup outfit for the evening, the right color, the delicate but not too prominent pattern, conveying the message of ready but not wanting. You feel each fold of fabric hugging your body after the bath, gentle but still keeping the right shape. You look at yourself in the mirror, the image of a person who has just been reborn but still quietly carries the inner strength that has been honed through each ritual. Here is part 8. The encounter. The rituals of seduction. When the call softly echoes in the palace, you receive the news with a calm mind that has been tempered by many previous rituals. A messenger bows and delivers the words, "The God of heaven summons you." In a moment of pause, you close your eyes gently, taking a deep breath, not to rejoice, but to gather all the inner strength that has been honed through waiting. Then you open your eyes, your gaze steady but unhurried. The journey ahead is a play of soft power, where you turn all preparations into the secret of confidence. You'll return to the small space in the bathroom that has been prepared after your afternoon bath. This time, the outfit chosen is a precious kimono. Smooth silk with seasonal motifs, maybe a crane soaring in the sunset sky, or cherry blossoms blooming in the morning mist. A symbol of fragility but still hope. When you put it on, you feel each fold as if containing a silent expectation. The color and pattern not only enhance your beauty, but also spread the message, "I am ready, but not too eager." Your hair is combed, with a small hairpin like a lost star in the quiet sky. The scent of yuzu and aga wood oil gently wafts around your neck, proud but not ostentatious. Enough so that when you enter the daimyo's room, your breath carries a vague scent, inviting but just distant enough. In the hallway leading to the daimyo's private chambers, the soft light draws your silhouette against the wooden floor. Each step echoes softly, just loud enough to echo in the quiet space. You keep your posture straight, your shoulders not slumped, your head not too high, your gaze forward but not hurried. You feel like a crane quietly on the surface of a lake, graceful but alert. In your heart, you murmur a rhythm, not too hasty, not too slow, not too eager, not too indifferent. Each moment of stepping forward is an opportunity to send a silent signal. You respect the protocol but do not reveal your feelings. As you step through the sliding door, you bow slightly, touching the space where power and expectation intersect. The ceremony begins with tea, a familiar ritual but this time with a different nuance. The daimyo greets you or just lets his eyes watch you silently. You kneel, holding the teacup with skillfully practiced hands. No shaking, no hurry. When the tea touches your lips, you sip slowly, as if drinking not only the tea's aroma, but also the hidden space of expectation. Your eyes wander, looking at him through the low window, but not to see. Your expression is gentle enough to be charming, yet haughty enough to keep your distance. The first words, if necessary, will be a formal thank you. I am willing to submit and obey. But you know, the most important words are not the words, but the subtle look, the steady breathing, the gentle gestures that show you respect but are not completely dependent. When the tea ceremony ends, the space moves. The sliding curtain opens. Dim lights illuminate the private space. You stand up slowly, keeping your body rhythm like a trained dancer. Your steps follow an invisible script, not too fast to show excitement, nor too slow to show shy. You step towards the laid-out futon, bow slightly, your eyes lowered but not long enough to reveal your longing. In that moment, you understand. This is not love, but performance art, where you and the daimyo play a role, following a script of power written through many rituals. You smile inwardly. This game is both a challenge of skill and an opportunity to show your inner strength. the self hidden behind the mask. On the futon, every movement is practiced smoothly. Breathing, eyes, hand gestures, a way of being soft but not too soft. You respond to every touch or question, maintaining a balance between readiness and caution. If there is a compliment, you nod slightly, your eyes not straying. If there is silence, you lean into the silence, letting the space tell its own story through your feelings. In each moment, you control your inner self, not letting ambition or fear show, but not being too indifferent either. It is a seductive play. You are both an actor and a hidden director, using your silent inner strength to guide the story. When the ceremony ends, whether it results in a quiet night or sweet compliments, you stand up, straighten your clothes, and bow slightly. As you leave the room, you do not look back, keeping your gaze forward, a concubine who has fulfilled her role, despite her many thoughts. In the next lonely moment when you return to your room, you silently record your feelings. Pride or disappointment, serenity or excitement, all are raw materials to hone your inner strength for tomorrow. You understand that today's ceremony is not just the end of a phase, but marks a maturity in the game of power, knowing how to use seduction as an art, silence as a weapon, and self-control as invisible armor. Here is part 8, the encounter, the rituals of seduction. When the call softly echoes in the palace, you receive the news with a calm mind that has been tempered by many previous rituals. A messenger bows and delivers the words, "The God of heaven summons you." In a moment of pause, you close your eyes gently, taking a deep breath, not to rejoice, but to gather all the inner strength that has been honed through waiting. Then you open your eyes, your gaze steady but unhurried. The journey ahead is a play of soft power, where you turn all preparations into the secret of confidence. You return to the small space in the bathroom that has been prepared after your afternoon bath. This time, the outfit chosen is a precious kimono, smooth silk with seasonal motifs. Maybe a crane soaring in the sunset sky, or cherry blossoms blooming in the morning mist. A symbol of fragility but still hope. When you put it on, you feel each fold as if containing a silent expectation. The color and pattern not only enhance your beauty, but also spread the message, "I am ready, but not too eager." Your hair is combed, with a small hairpin like a lost star in the quiet sky. The scent of yuzu and arga wood oil gently wafts around your neck, proud but not ostentatious, enough so that when you enter the Daimyo's room, your breath carries a vague scent, inviting but just distant enough. In the hallway leading to the Daimyo's private chambers, the soft light draws your silhouette against the wooden floor. Each step echoes softly, just loud enough to echo in the quiet space. You keep your posture straight, your shoulders not slumped, your head not too high, your gaze forward but not hurried. You feel like a crane quietly on the surface of a lake, graceful but alert. In your heart, you murmur a rhythm, not too hasty, not too slow, not too eager, not too indifferent. Each moment of stepping forward is an opportunity to send a silent signal. You respect the protocol but do not reveal your feelings. As you step through the sliding door, you bow slightly, touching the space where power and expectation intersect. The ceremony begins with tea, a familiar ritual but this time with a different nuance. The daimyo greets you or just lets his eyes watch you silently. You kneel, holding the teacup with skillfully practiced hands. No shaking, no hurry. When the tea touches your lips, you sip slowly, as if drinking not only the tea's aroma, but also the hidden space of expectation. Your eyes wander, looking at him through the low window, but not to see. Your expression is gentle enough to be charming, yet haughty enough to keep your distance. The first words, if necessary, will be a formal thank you. I am willing to submit and obey. But you know, the most important words are not the words, but the subtle look, the steady breathing, the gentle gestures that show you respect but are not completely dependent. When the tea ceremony ends, the space moves. The sliding curtain opens. Dim lights illuminate the private space. You stand up slowly, keeping your body rhythm like a trained dancer. Your steps follow an invisible script, not too fast to show excitement, nor too slow to show shyness. You step towards the laid-out futon, bow slightly, your eyes lowered but not long enough to reveal your longing. In that moment, you understand, this is not love, but performance art, where you and the daimyo play a role. Following a script of power written through many rituals, you smile inwardly. This game is both a challenge of skill and an opportunity to show your inner strength, the self hidden behind the mask. On the futon, every movement is practiced smoothly. Breathing, eyes, hand gestures, a way of being soft but not too soft. You respond to every touch or question, maintaining a balance between readiness and caution. If there is a compliment, you nod slightly, your eyes not straying. If there is silence, you lean into the silence, letting the space tell its own story through your feelings. In each moment, you control your inner self, not letting ambition or fear show, but not being too indifferent either. It is a seductive play. You are both an actor and a hidden director, using your silent inner strength to guide the story. When the ceremony ends, whether it results in a quiet night or sweet compliments, you stand up, straighten your clothes, and bow slightly. As you leave the room, you do not look back, keeping your gaze forward, a concubine who has fulfilled her role, despite her many thoughts. In the next lonely moment, when you return to your room, you silently record your feelings. Pride or disappointment, serenity or excitement, all are raw materials to hone your inner strength for tomorrow. You understand that today's ceremony is not just the end of a phase, but marks a maturity in the game of power, knowing how to use seduction as an art, silence as a weapon, and self-control as invisible armor. Under the quiet night, when the pale moonlight shines through the paper window, we enter Part 9, Night. The play of offering. This is the most tense and sacred moment, when you have to bring all the prepared rituals, all the patience and inner strength that have been honed, into the secret stage of the Daimyo's chamber, about 700 words long, continuing the emotional flow and connection from the previous parts, keeping 80% of the original plot but transforming it with rich language, rich in images and emotions. As the thin door opens, you feel the warmth and scent of incense wafting from the room inside. Your heart beats steadily, undiminished, the result of the rituals practiced from waking up, applying makeup, dressing, breakfast, waiting, silent competition, and getting ready. Now you step inside, into a setting that is both intimate and solemn. A play of the highest order is about to take place, but the cast consists of only two people, you and the Daimyo, and an invisible script written in the language of ritual. You bow slightly, your gaze restrained but profound, the first signal to the authority figure. There is no expression of eagerness or fear, only a steady gaze, filled with reverence and quiet self. As you step into the prepared futon, you pay attention to every fold of fabric beneath you, making sure your posture is supple enough but not too loose. The opening gesture for tonight's performance. For a moment, your mind replays the lessons. This is not a personal desire, but the art of offering, the offering of soft power, the offering of a silent but haunting image. You sit down, lowering your gaze, keeping your spine straight, your chest not heaving visibly. The space is filled with the soft breathing of each person. When the Daimyo touches you, you respond skillfully, not shrinking, not loosening, but not showing too much enthusiasm. Every movement is controlled. It is a dance of body and soul. You know that each gesture can evoke the message. I respect you, but not subservient. I surrender, but still keep my ego hidden. The simple futon becomes a sacred space, where a sense of intimacy blends with a subtle vigilance, breathing in sync with your heartbeat. You silently observe your body's reactions, the warmth seeping into every muscle, every skin cell under the dim light. But you don't let your body startle or reveal too much. Every rustle of silk fabric as you move is as light as a butterfly's wings touching the water. The faint sound contributes to the quiet drama, where every little detail counts. You feel each touch, but maintain the mindset of an inner spectator, both participating and observing yourself, turning the moment of dedication into a testament to the inner strength that has been honed over many days. In the dim light, when the Daimyo whispers something, a compliment perhaps, or just a silent question, you respond with a discreet smile. The smile is not wide, just enough to reveal charm but hide deep emotions. It is the art of masterful acting. You exchange messages in seconds. Soft, steady breathing, a slight tilt of the eyes, fingers touching the fabric, then delicately releasing. It all creates a harmony between surrender and self-control. You give, but you do not lose yourself. As the play quiets down, no song, only breathing, you remain in a position that is not in a hurry to leave. The ending is not a moment of drama or noise, but a transition from intimacy to serenity. You close the play gracefully. Every movement in this stage must be precise. Leaving the futon, adjusting your clothes, bowing slightly, stepping out of the sacred space with a bright but discreet gaze. You do not turn your head. Your steps are light, but sure, the sign of someone who has completed the role without leaving a stain. After leaving the room, you return to your own room, where a dim lantern awaits. In a moment of solitude, you sit at a small table, lighting a cup of warm tea. The mood may be one of quiet happiness, or a little bit of simmering disappointment, but you remain silent inside. No words to express, just silently recording the feelings. You put your hand on the paper, briefly writing a few lines of poetry or feelings. Tonight, I have offered the image in its entirety, and learned that the art of offering is to preserve the hidden self. The poem is not for others, but is your way of sharpening your soul, strengthening your inner strength to prepare for tomorrow's dawn, where the cycle continues, with the ritual of waking up, makeup, clothes, and breakfast closing, waiting, competing, bathing, and then the night becomes a play again.
Under the fragile dawn light that filters through the paper wall, we enter Part 10 the next morning, returning to the loop, where all the emotions from last night converge and are tested by the eyes of colleagues and sudden rumors. The moment of opening the eyes on the futon has a nuance that is both familiar and new. Familiar because of the closed process. New because of the aftermath of a night of devotion, when the soul has not yet calmed down from the turmoil. You open your eyes with a familiar ache. The back of your neck aches slightly from the formal posture. Your body still covered in the aftertaste of the simple futon. The morning light is not quite bright, just a faint trace, a reminder that the circle begins again. You breathe lightly, feeling the warmth left on your skin after the act of giving, both intimate and distant. For a moment, your heart may sink a little, but you have learned the ritual. Emotions are not revealed. They become hidden fuel to enter the new day. The maids entered the room, her eyes polite but subtle. They had heard the news about last night, maybe a secret compliment for you, or just a silent question about the outcome. They didn't ask directly, just bowed and began the ritual of washing your face and applying makeup. The sound of warm water and brushes brushing your skin still echoed softly. But this time there was a different aftertaste. Each movement not only erased the traces of the night before, but also initiated a new series of rituals with the awareness. As a concubine, no matter what happened yesterday, it was just part of a long play. You closed your eyes, letting the cool water spread, as if to remove the imprint of the intimacy just past, while gathering your inner strength to prepare for the new round. As the white powder is applied to your face, you look at yourself in the bronze mirror. The image of the concubine is still calm, but her eyes are a bit deeper. You smile inwardly. Yesterday was the act of dedication. Today is the stage of facing public opinion. You are not sure what the rumors are about, can you? Praise her silence after the night of dedication, or mock her, she is too enthusiastic. But you are not confused. Silence and steadfastness are still the secret. Each stroke of makeup becomes a new mask, hiding all true thoughts, but also revealing the message. I am fine, and I am ready to continue. This morning's outfit is carefully chosen, perhaps a kimono with a crane or a pale cherry blossom pattern. Just enough to evoke the fullness of hope, but not so bright as to draw undue attention. As you close each layer of fabric, you think, let this color blend into the palace scene so that others will not be alarmed, but will still recognize that I am here. The obi tightens at the waist, reminding you of each breath. You maintain an elegant posture, hiding your tiredness and your hope for the next night. Breakfast takes place in a familiar space, but with a new tone. The eyes of the maids and other concubines are scattered everywhere, waiting for your signal. You sit still, holding your chopsticks firmly, picking up rice and fish with practiced restraint. When the sip of miso soup touches your lips, you close your eyes for a moment so that the lingering flavor does not reveal your enjoyment. You listen to the soft whisper in your ear. How was she yesterday? But you reply with a steady gaze. I ate, but I won't tell. The calmness of the meal becomes a hidden message about your stance, whether there is praise or scorn. You keep your expression calm, making it difficult for others to grasp your true mood. After the meal, as you sit in the waiting room as usual, you observe the space and the people around you, who glances at you with curious eyes, who coughs lightly as a sign of discussion, who keeps their distance or tries to approach. Every little action is stored in your mind as an invisible record. The silent competition has moved to the post-production stage after the night of the offering. It is time to gather information to see how your position has changed. You note who seems more reserved, who seems more confident, to prepare a strategy for the next round. You think to yourself, this cycle never ends. It keeps going. This morning is a continuation of last night, and both are small parts of the whole game. I can't stop. I can only be steady and flexible. You close your eyes, take a deep breath, and gather a layer of soft inner strength. the confidence that comes not from last night's results, but from the process of cultivating yourself. Whether your position goes up or down, you know that surviving in silence and stillness, maintaining inner strength, is the most enduring way.
In the soft light of the breaking dawn, we come to part 12, the end, reminiscence and resilience. This is the moment you look back at the whole journey, from the moment you first opened your eyes on the futon, through the rituals of makeup, clothing, restrained breakfast, silent waiting, quiet competition, in case you are summoned bath, seduction ritual, night of dedication, to the next morning facing public opinion, then the decline and adaptation. Each step has forged inner strength, weaving the story of a woman who is both a symbol and a hidden person. In this quiet moment, you sit in front of the dim bronze mirror. The morning light reflects on your face. Accustomed to white powder, your eyes deeper after many sleepless nights. Looking back at your image in parts, from the person opening his eyes between dream and reality, to the porcelain statue that knows how to think, from the body bound in silk to the soul that is both waiting and fighting, from the bathing ritual to the performance of dedication. And then the moment after the game the next morning, you realize that each step is a pearl. Even if bitter, it contributes to creating a series of profound experiences, reminiscing about the past. You remember the bewildered feeling when the first basin of warm water touched your skin. Remember the initial stiff feeling when the white powder was applied. Then remember the shyness mixed with determination when Obi squeezed your waist. Remember the sound of footsteps when breakfast took place, like a silent symphony. Every tense moment of waiting but honing patience. Remember the silent competitive gaze. Remember the warmth of the afternoon bath. Remember the moment you entered the Daimyo's room with a self-possessed mind. Remember the night of dedication where art and inner strength harmonized. Then remember the morning facing the immense gaze of the harem, all like a series of rhymes. Each part resonates a mixed note of sadness and joy, so that now you realize you are not simply a character of the ritual, but the creator of inner strength through each ritual. In that flashback, you feel a soft power. You understand that the silk mask, no matter how tight, is also a tool for you to express the silence of power. Each layer of kimono binds the body, but also serves as a solid frame for a calm posture, making others' eyes remember. The restraint during breakfast is not just a strict discipline, but a way for you to train your inner self. Knowing how to swallow your personal desires, to maintain elegance and mystery. Waiting silently teaches you patience, knowing how to use silence as a weapon. Competing quietly teaches you to observe delicately and flexibly adjust your attitude. The afternoon bath ritual teaches you to restore yourself, to cleanse not only your body but also your mind. The true keen teaches you to turn preparation into the art of seduction, both offering and preserving your ego. The night of offering is the culmination of art and inner strength meeting. The next morning forces you to face the consequences, to accept public opinion, not to let yourself fall. The decline and adaptation phase helps you learn to move forward, knowing that your position may change but your intrinsic value remains strong. It all adds up to a big picture. The path to becoming a concubine is a series of harsh rituals, but if you look closely, it is also a journey of self-cultivation. Restrain, adapt, and cultivate the talent of silent power. You do not just play your role, but gradually understand that beneath the elaborate costumes, there is still a human being with emotions, dreams, memories, and determination. Resilience does not lie in enduring the shackles, but in how you turn the shackles into a means to refine your image, while cultivating your inner strength to not collapse. In this final moment, you smile to yourself, although the journey may be repeated countless times, although each day may be a circle that goes round and round, you have found inner strength through each ritual. You understand that the play may be endless, but you are the author of your attitude. Choosing confident silence, choosing patient observation, choosing wise adaptation, choosing to persevere in silence. The image of a palace concubine is just a shell, but inside that shell is a person who is always awake, always honing and constantly growing. Let this story be a reminder. Complex journeys, strict rituals, or forced circumstances do not necessarily suffocate us if we learn to turn pressure into an opportunity to practice inner strength. When faced with the chains in life, you can choose to escape or accept to find hidden strength, just like the concubine who wore the kimono to bind her many times, then gradually found each layer of fabric to be a place to test her will, and also the foundation to help her calm, mysterious, and attractive figure. The end is not a permanent end, but the beginning of a lasting inner journey. You will continue to wake up, continue to perform the ritual, continue to give and adapt, but with a new mindset. Knowing yourself behind the mask, knowing how to be confident in the face of challenges, and persistently nurturing your inner strength through silence and patience. This is a memory of the past and a map for the future. Every waking day is an opportunity for you to show your maturity, even if the outer shell is still a repetitive ritual. And when you next open your eyes on the futon, you will see not only the fragile light of dawn, but yourself a person who has learned to persevere and shine in silence, no matter how long the play lasts.